Good day my dear student friends. In this video session let us learn how to solve the problem on a cantilever beam subjected to a point load at its free end to determine the slope and deflection at the free end and the support reactions using elimination approach in finite element method. It is given that the cantilever beam subjected to 250 kN point load at its free end. The length of the beam given is 0.8 meters. Young's modulus of the material of the beam 200 gigapascal and moment of inertia of the cross section of the beam given is 4 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. Okay, now since there is no discontinuity in material property or discontinuity in there is no discontinuity in geometry, discontinuity in loading, okay, then the cross section is same, material is same, and there is no discontinuity in loading, then entire beam can be considered as a single element having two nodes. Okay, if in the problem if it is specified to model this beam into two elements, then you just divide this particular beam into two equal parts, that is 0.4 meter and 0.4 meter. But in this case it is not mentioned anything to how many elements we should take. You just consider this entire beam as a single element having two nodes. Okay, so that, and also it is asked to determine the deflection and the slope at the free end only, then one element is enough. If it is asked to determine, if it would have asked to determine the slope and deflection at the midpoint of the beam, then in that case we should compulsorily we should consider this beam as two elements. Okay, now consider this beam as a single element having two nodes. The properties E and I are given. Now stiffness matrix for the beam element is given by that is EI divided by LE cube into inside the matrix we have the 16 terms, that is 4 cross 4 the matrix order, as we know, because at each node of the beam element 2 degrees of freedom, there are totally 4 degrees of freedom, hence order of the stiffness matrix of a single element of a beam will be 4 cross 4. The stiffness matrix for the beam element, first you write down EI by LE cube outside into bracket 12 6 LE minus 12 6 LE 6 LE 4 LE square and so on. All these terms you write. Once you write the formula for the stiffness matrix of a beam element, first I will calculate EI by LE cube. E is given as 200 gigapascal. I will convert this 200 gigapascal into megapascal, that is Newton per mm square, that is it will become 200 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal or Newton per mm square, that is 2 into 10 raised to 5. 200 into 10 raised to 3 is nothing but 2 into 10 raised to 5. After that I will substitute in mm only, because E I have substituted in Newton per mm square. In mm raised to 4 I will substitute I, that is 4 into 10 raised to 6. And next I will substitute LE cube, length of the element. Since the entire beam is considered as a single element, then length of the element 1 is 0.8 meter only. 0.8 meter, if you convert it into mm, 0.8 into 1000 mm, it will give you 800 mm. 0.8 meter, if you convert it into mm, you will get 800 mm. Okay, 800 mm you will get. Now you substitute EI, we have substituted here, divided by LE cube. LE is 800, 800 cube. If you calculate the ratio of this EI by LE cube, we will get 1562.5. okay, you just keep this 1562.5 outside the stiffness matrix. Since it is a single element, the beam structure consists of, hence the stiffness matrix for element 1 is itself is the global stiffness matrix. Now 1562.5 you write outside, and you just write the terms 12. 6 times LE is nothing but, that is length of the element is 800 mm. Length of the element is 800 mm. If LE is 800 mm, then you calculate 6 times LE will be 4800. In all the 6 times LE, wherever is there minus 6 LE minus 4800, I wrote 4800. 6 times LE, wherever it is, I will just 6 into 800. If you do, you will get 4800. You just write wherever 6 LE is there, you just write 4800. Wherever minus 6 LE, you write minus 4800. After that, likewise, you find 4 Le square, 4 Le square, that is Le square, that is 800 square into 4, you will get 256 into 10 raised to 4. Wherever 4 Le square is there, you write 256 into 10 raised to 4. If you calculate 2 Le square, that is 2 times 800 square, you will get 128 into 10 raised to 4. You write wherever 2 Le square is there, 128 into 10 raised to 4 you write. Okay, likewise the stiffness matrix can be found out. This is what the stiffness matrix we got for the beam element. This itself is the global stiffness matrix because the entire beam is considered as a single element. After that we have now the load vector. You should write the load vector. It is simple since for a single element, that itself is the global element. Okay, that is F1, M1, F2, M2. Okay, F1 is the applied force at node 1, it is 0, there is no applied force at node 1. M1 is the applied moment at node 1, it is 0, there is no applied moment at node 1. F2 is the applied force at node 2. Okay, since F2, the applied force at node 2 given is 250 kilonewton load in the downward direction, downward force is taken as negative, hence we will write minus 250 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Okay, and M2, there is no applied moment at node 2, then you should write it as 0. Hence we will get the load vector as 0, 0, minus 250 into 10 raised to 3 and 0. These are the 4 load vector terms we will get. That in the next page we will discuss now. Now here I wrote the load vector 0, 0, minus 250 into 10 raised to 3, 0. Next, write Ku is equal to F, that is the global equilibrium equation. If you write Ku is equal to F, then here the K matrix, it is this 4 cross 4 matrix. Okay, for this element, this is the global stiffness matrix. This multiplied by U matrix. Okay, what is that U matrix? You should write U1, U2, U3 and U4, where U1 is the deflection at node 1, U2 is the rotation or slope at node 1, U3 is the deflection at node 2, U4 is the slope or rotation at node 2. Okay, because at each node there are 2 degrees of freedom of the beam element. One is deflection, another one is rotation. Now what we will do now, we will apply the boundary condition. The boundary condition for this beam element given is, since node 1 is fixed, having fixed support, then this node 1, this support will not allow the node 1 to have the deflection as well as to rotate also, it will not allow. Hence deflection is 0 at node 1 and rotation U2 at node 1, it is also 0. If U1 and U2 are 0, then eliminate the first row and second row. U1 and U2 are 0, first column and second column. If you eliminate, okay, we will get only remaining these 4 terms. Okay, remaining these 4 terms, 2 equations which are left to calculate for U3 and U4. In the next page I have shown these things. Okay, in the next page I wrote, you can observe here the remaining 4 terms. In the next page I wrote these. Okay, if you write Ku is equal to F, that K matrix in the previous page, into U, U1, U2, U3, U4 is equal to this F1, F2, F3, F4. After that, since node 1 has fixed support, deflection U1 is 0 and U2 is 0, rotation U2 is 0 at node 1, because node 1 is provided with fixed support. Eliminate first row, first column. If you eliminate first row, first column, second row, second column, like this, these first 2 components will get eliminated, only remaining these 2 force terms. Now after eliminating, you will get these 2 equations to be solved, that is 1562.5 outside the stiffness matrix, into bracket you write these 4 terms which are remained after eliminating the terms, into U3, U4, which is to be calculated, is equal to minus 250 into 10 raised to 3 and 0. If you solve these 2 equations, then we will get, solving these 2 equations, we will get U3, that is the deflection at node 2. At node 2, deflection at node 2, that is deflection at the free end of the cantilever beam. deflection at node 2 is given by u3 is equal to minus 53.33 mm. That is the deflection at node 2, that is at the free end, it is deflecting in the downward direction, because the negative sign indicates the node 2 is deflecting in the downward direction by an amount of 53.33 mm, and the node 2 will have a slope or a rotation as minus 0.1 radians. Okay, that is u4 is nothing but that is the slope or rotation at node 2. It will have a rotation of 0.1 radians. If you convert it into angle, you just multiply this 0.1 in by 180 by pi, then you will get in degrees. Okay, now this is how you can calculate the deflection and the rotation at each node of the beam structure. In one of the previous videos also I have explained how to solve the problems on beams subjected to uniformly distributed load, externally applied moment, and the point loads with the combination also. You just go through that, and this one also you just go through. Okay, this is how you can determine the deflection and slope or rotation at the free end of a cantilever beam. Okay, also we can check these answers, slope and deflection at the free end of a cantilever beam with the analytical method results from the strength of materials. From the strength of materials, we know that for a cantilever beam subjected to a point load at its free end, the deflection can be found out delta is equal to PL cube divided by 3 EI. This is the formula to find the deflection at the free end of a cantilever. If you substitute P value, that is 250 kilonewton, that is 250 into 10 raised to 3, and length of the beam, if you substitute 0.8 meter, it is given, it is converted into mm, 800, that is P as 250 into 10 raised to 3, L as 800 mm. Okay, and Young's modulus 200 into 10 raised to 3, and moment of inertia 4 into 10 raised to 6. If you substitute these values and if you calculate the deflection at the free end of a cantilever by using this formula analytically, we will get the same 53.33 mm, that is the deflection at the free end. You can check it. Okay, and slope or rotation for a cantilever subjected to point load at its free end, slope at the free end is given by slope that is theta is given by PL square divided by 2 EI, PL square by 2 EI, where P is the point load, that is 250 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. L is the length of the beam, that is 800 mm. You substitute Young's modulus 200 into 10 raised to 3. I, moment of inertia given, you substitute 4 into 10 raised to 6. If you substitute all these values, if you calculate the slope at the free end of a cantilever by using that formula, you will get 0.1 radians only. Okay, this is how we can compare the results of FEM results with the analytical results. Okay, and support reactions can be calculated by using the formula. Since node 1 fixed support, node 1 is fixed, hence u1 and u2 are 0, then you can calculate for deflection and slope, we can calculate the reactions, that is R1 and R2. R1 can be found out by using Ku minus F formula. R2 also can Ku minus F. We got Ku is equal to F, whatever the equilibrium equation you write, in that you refer the first and second equation to find R1 and R2. How it is? That is, if you go for the first equation, if you refer, that is 1562.5 into 12 u1 plus 4800 u2 minus 12 u3 plus 4800 u4 minus f1. F1 is, we got 0, minus 0 you write. Second, R2 can be found out by using the second equation, that is Ku minus F, 1562.5 into bracket 4800 u1 into 256 into 10 raised to 4 u2 minus 4800 u3 plus 128 into 10 raised to 4 u4 minus f2 we have, it is 0, you can observe here. Okay, f2 is 0, f1 and f2 are zeros. Okay, like this you can calculate. Okay, Now here R1 and R2, by using the first two equations of the equilibrium equation, R1 Ku minus F, this I wrote, and just I have substituted U1 and U2 are 0, U3 and U4 I have substituted these values minus 53.33 and minus 0.1 into R1 and R2 equations. We will get R1 as R1 I got, that is 249.937 kilonewton, that is it is approximately 250 kilonewton R1, and R2 is 127.9 kilonewton. This is how we can calculate the deflection and the rotation at the free end of a cantilever beam by using FEM method, and also we have compared with analytical method results also. Thank you dear students. You just try to solve the problems on beams from the textbooks, from the previous VTU question papers, and let me know your doubts and your doubts, so that I can clarify your doubts. Thank you. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.